Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to the show. It is the Monday Big Thing episode with me, Kristian Harloff, and I got Brett Sheridan here. We're going to talk about a lot of things. Got a lot of things. Mandalorian. We're going to find out exactly who wrote all the episodes. The Writers Guild had put out all the writers for the episodes, and it's an interesting list. And I'm going to talk about that list today for sure. DC news with James Gunn. He talked about basically knowing when the DCU was going to start as far as timeline, and give a little reveal there. The great Torro, he is talking about his next movie. He's going to do a monster movie. John Wick, he's going to be in a little spin-off series, a little spinny-offs. And he talked a little bit about that, the great Keanu Reeves. There's going to be a trailer for Across the Spiderverse Part 2. That's got a release date. Some solo news again. But this time more in the vein of the things that I'm liking as far as a pitch from John Kasdan as far as where it should live and all those types of things. He was talking about Willow. And speaking of Willow, the writers of Willow said that there's a lot of interference from Disney and Lucasfilm about this series. So we're going to talk about that. And then Becky Lynch apparently was supposed to be in the Eternals. That and more. Universal Studios, other things. Mark Ellis' comedy show and more. We'll talk about that today on the show. And speaking of which, if you see on the bottom right there, Carbon Health. Man, we love Carbon Health. Carbon Health is such a great place. We love working with them. And I'll tell you why. One of the great reasons and things I love about Carbon Health, because they have over 110 locations nationwide. They have 80 locations in California, the Bay Area, Los Angeles, Sacramento, and North San Diego. They're really great. They have urgent care needs at all locations, primary care in California. You can start a relationship with a professional that you can trust to take care of yourself before a major issue arises. We love working with them. We really do, because they believe that everyone deserves a healthcare provider who's an active partner supporting you in your efforts to feel better and to live healthier. They have care teams that support, and they have the resources they need to be able to focus and build a relationship with you. They have virtual services. You can do all this. They have available urgent care, but they're also rethinking virtual care for primary care-related options. They're great. They really are. We love working with them. We've been working with them for a little bit, and we're happy, even a little more so than a little bit. It's coming up to almost like 6 months. And even, hell, man, with the spectacular Schmodown last year, it's been a year. Happy to work with them. Happy that they are a sponsor of the show. We hope that you'll check them out. Check out their link in the description. All right, a few more things. Housekeeping. Look at this sweater. Sweatshirt, whatevs. Got so much, this merch. It's awesome. I love it. It's the big thing. You can go to TeePublic, and man, they've got great sales going on right now. They have great sales going on for the Christmas holidays. And you like the Top Gun guy, Brett?
Oh, yeah.
The Top Gun guy?
Yeah.
The Top Gun guy?
It's the Top Gun guy, Mike. But you can go on over there, check that out. Make sure you head on over to the TeePublic store. They're going to have a big sale for the holidays. So make sure you check that out. We love TeePublic. So glad we're back with them. You can also, if you haven't already done it, make sure that you head on over to the podcast feed. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. So important for the show that you guys are doing that. We absolutely are so thankful for everybody who's been, going and commenting and downloading all the episodes. We've seen a spike on the audio, so we thank you. We thank you. All right, we're going to do a lot here today, so let's get into this conversation. It's myself. It's Brett Sheridan. It is the big thing, everybody. Let's do it. Come on. All right, everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the Big Thing Show podcast. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. There he is. Hey, what's going on? You and I are what the kids call old.
Slobbing it up.
No, we went to Ellis's show on. It was quite an adventure on Saturday night.
And the yawns on the way there were aplenty.
Well, so just to show you the rock stars that Brett and I are, I got into a car with a full cup of coffee. Well, I
just had pounded a Red Bull.
It was 7 o'clock, or earlier, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think Brett went to get me at 5:45, and I was like, I'm going to need like 10 minutes. I'm taking kids out of baths and cleaning up kitchens and doing all this stuff. And so we get into the car, we take this ride over, and, we're like, okay, we'll get into the first show. We go to the first show, and as we get this very nice theater, by the way.
Oh, very cool.
It was a good theater. It was a great venue. Mark killed it. Apparently on both shows. We only stayed for the first, but killed it on both. But the outside, not the best neighborhood. As we're getting out, there was tons of stuff going on in the neighborhood. I mean, you could throw a rock and hit something shady going on. And so as we're walking, I go to Brett, you might not want to go that way. Guy with his dick hanging out, walking down the street, pubes out, and he's moving the stretch. And Brett, without blinking, goes, "How you doing calisthenics?"
Just stretching.
Just stretching.
Little stretch.
Pubes out. Just ready to move.
Just
doing his thing.
Where the world would take him.
He's gonna take him. And we said, because if me or you did that today, right now, you'd take us to jail.
Oh yeah.
Not him.
No.
Take a dump in the middle of the street. It's Ted. It's Tuesday. That's what he's doing.
Ted Tuesday.
It's Ted Tuesday.
That's Ted's talk.
Yeah, it's Ted's talk. He's gonna take a big old shit right in the street, and that's okay because that's what he does. But we get there. Mark has a great show, and he did his hour taping, two episodes. Oh, not 2 episodes, but 2 tapings. One on, I think the first show was when we went at like 7. And then the second was like at 8:30 or 9.
Yeah.
So we missed. It was funny because Coy posted a picture of all of us, and then Roxy had said, "Well, how come I wasn't in that picture? What if she wasn't there yet?" And I said, "Well, you could have been cool enough to go to the first show." And she's like, "In what world is it that the first show is the cool show?" And I'm like, "Because we saw that motherfucker first.
Yeah,
we saw it first. And
you're fresh.
You try to impress that TikTok audience.
Yeah,
whatever you're doing." But it was great. I saw our buddy Eliza Schlesinger was there. I got to catch up with her. I haven't seen her in a while. It was nice to catch up with her. She's doing great, man. I'm so proud of her. She's just amazing.
I haven't seen the latest one, but I've loved every other. The amazing special she has.
She's just such a powerhouse as far as she's always been like that. I told her, we were talking about it when I saw her. So we were just going back, and when I met her in like 2003 at the Improv. She was probably, if she was 21, I'd be surprised. But we just talked about it. She's just been a hustler, man. She's just been a hustler. It was really nice to see her. But it was funny. All the parents went to the first show. She's a new parent. All the parents went to the first, because then I saw all the derelicts were at the second one. And, Kaiser and Dagnino and everybody's at that second show, and the people who don't have kids who are just out partying like they're 25 years old
because they want to go do something afterward. Which I'm like,
God bless them. I mean, Riley and his lovely lady were there, and same with Levine and Rachel, and they're all partying it up like they're in college, and I'm like, look, God bless them.
Oh, we're at home. I
was sleeping.
Oh, you're sleeping up? Oh, yeah, you had to get up early.
I went to
I'm
Universal.
in bed just relaxing, looking at Instagram and things and seeing, oh, look at all those young kids
I found out fun the next day. And so I went to Universal Studios with my oldest daughter now, who's 11th. We took her for her 11th birthday. I took her and her friends. So it was myself and freaking 4 11-year-olds. Now, it sounds like it could be a disaster.
Yeah.
Sweetest kids in the world.
That's great.
It was so easy to do. All the kids, kudos to their parents, because all these kids were polite. All these kids were super nice. They were just loving life, loving being there. For this one kid never been to an amusement park ever, never been on a roller coaster. Looked like she just walked into Willy Wonka.
That's awesome.
Had the eyes like, and I'm like, this is awesome. I'm like, this. I didn't like, because I was like, okay. Is this going to be a bunch of, they're going to be yelling and screaming? Is it going to be a pain in the ass? Who are these kids? It was amazing. It was great. Although, it shows you how much I'm really tuned into what's going on. They all the kids meet up in front of the house, getting ready to go. And there's some siblings running around too for the other kids. And so this one of the girls, God bless her, is just terrified of dogs. So there was this little shit dog that comes over, like it's a sweet little dog, well, a shit dog, couldn't do anything, and he's just one of those dogs, fluffy, couldn't hurt a fly. But you're scared of dogs, you're scared of dogs.
Oh yeah.
So this poor little kid jumps into her mom's arms, just wailing as if Pennywise is coming after her, right? And I'm like, it's all right. So I go, I go, it's not like there's going to be any dogs at the park, right? That kid's not coming with us. I thought she was coming with us. And then I'm like, but I played it off. I'm like, I turn around, I go, oh, that must be the person coming with us. I'm like, okay, good. Then I said to myself, let's learn who these kids are so I don't lose them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great.
Four's a good number. If you're juggling like 6 to 8, that might be trouble.
But again, this is the kudos to the kids. They locked arms in crowds.
Oh, that's wonderful.
They didn't wander. They were, again, let's eat. We're done. Great. Let's go on something else.
Yeah.
Not a single complaint on the line. Some of the lines were long. That they all got. Few of them got scared for the mummy ride, which I didn't even know about. Did you know the mummy ride?
I couldn't do them. Remember, we talked about how the things messed us up. I didn't even get to do it.
They did I didn't do any of the rides. I waited for them for all of it. They did the Harry Potter ones. They were fine. Right. But apparently the mummy one is like a real roller coaster inside of like this thing. And they're like 11 years old and going on. And so they all bailed at it. And they all bailed. And they were like, yeah, we're good. And they did Transformers. And they ended with Transformers and we took off. But it was.
I could do a roller coaster. It's the VR stuff.
Oh, but it was so the Transformers was the VR stuff. The roller coaster was Harry Potter.
Oh, see, there's two. There's the one roller.
There's two.
But then there's the
the first one, right? The one inside the castle is the VR.
Yeah, just doing this.
Right. That's the one that they did. I didn't do that, but there's that little roller coaster that they did too.
That's all right.
Nah, I can't do it all. Can't do it all.
The first one took me out for the day.
Yeah. Two things. One, that Harry Potter world there. So normally, whether you go to Disneyland or any of these freaking parks that you go to, the food is shit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, any of them, any of the places that you go to, the food is normally like, it's just junk food. And even when they try to tell you it's high end or usually shit. This food at, what is it, the 17 Broomsticks or whatever the hell it's called? I don't know what the name of the restaurant is called, but the food is good. Like really good food. And like and it looked good. And I'm like, holy, like I don't have the picture, but I'm going to show you, Brett, the picture. Look at these grapes. I'm not even kidding. It's like a picture of these grapes. You can tell normally like, those look like just like repackaged packaged grapes, and these were like good, they were good grapes.
Just think about hanging out with you in our 20s, and you're about to show me some good looking grapes.
Look at those grapes.
Those are some nice looking grapes.
The chicken is really good. That food is delicious. Mac and cheese was yummy. I couldn't believe it.
Tell me, 20 years ago, you'd be showing me a nice.
Listen to this. Don't tell my wife, but look at this mac and cheese. Holy shit!
I had 2 portions.
I got a plate of ribs. I got a plate of ribs. I'm supposed to get the ribs.
Yeah,
I got the ribs. What a pack of ribs!
Threw caution to the wind.
Threw some ribs, but I did. I told myself I was going to eat well. Big slob. I had where I was in the clear because they were done eating. Going, there's like 17 escalators to get to the bottom of the floor, and I'm like, let's get a pretzel. So I get a pretzel with cheese, which is not good for you. I'll be punishing people with that cheese for the next 3 days.
Well, because it's not cheese. We took a picture of it at Disneyland, and it said cheese flavored sauce.
Oh, it's disgusting, whatever it is, but it just did the trick anyway. So that was the day, and then we started out, and we're back at it. We're back at it, everybody. All right, let's get into this news because let's get into Mandalorian. Some Mandalorian news. And I didn't know what the hell to. I mean, there were a lot of stories, but I was like, this one to me it's interesting. So, Writers Guild of America posted the 3rd season of The Mandalorian, the writers, and the episodes that they're going to do. The official WGA website has revealed the list of writers for the next season of the show. And it's comprising other 8 episodes. Now, Jon Favreau, the showrunner of the series, is credited on every single one, with him co-writing 3 episodes. The credits are as followed. Season 3, Episode 1, Jon Favreau. Season 3, Episode 2, Jon Favreau. Season 3, Episode 3, Noah Clure and Jon Favreau. Season 3, Episode 4, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Season 3, Episode 5, Jon Favreau. Season 3, Episode 6, Jon Favreau. Season 3, Episode 7, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Season 3, Episode 8, Jon Favreau. Favreau is being heavily involved with The Mandalorian. It's unsurprising, given his status as a showrunner and his commitment to do it and spin-offs. And likewise, it's not surprising to see Dave Filoni take part in co-writing 2 episodes ahead of his Ahsoka series. A bit more surprising is the addition of Noah Clure, who was credited as a staff writer for all 7 episodes of Book of Boba Fett, getting his first full credit as Star Wars writer. It seems likely that Filoni's episodes could tie in with the Ahsoka spin-off, while Clure's episode might have ties to the Book of Boba Fett. We already know that we'll be going back to Tatooine based on trailer footage, so seeing the original on-screen Mandalorian run into headlining his own series would not be too shocking. As for directors, details on them aren't completely clear. It's previously been stated that many directors from previous seasons will return, but so far, the only names given are Bryce Dallas Howard, Carl Weathers, and Rick Famuyiwa. I never get his name right, and I love him. Famuyiwa, who was also promoted to executive producer this season. It's unclear whether Jon Favreau and Filoni will do directing duties this time. However, hopefully the director...
Hey, gotta go do the directing duty, and I'll be right back.
6 years old. Hey, anybody seen any of the director? He's doing a duty. The Directors Guild of America will soon reveal who was involved with each episode. In similar fashion to the WGA, no word if Allison Duty will be around. The 3rd season of Star Wars, The Mandalorian, will begin airing on Disney Plus starting March 1st, 2023. The show's first 2 seasons in the spin-off, The Book of Boba Fett, which serves as an interlude between the 2nd and 3rd season of the show, are available to watch on the service right now. When I was in the 8th grade at St. Robert's, we had a priest, and his name was Father Duty.
Nice little birthday present for me coming out in March.
Yeah, March 1st.
Yeah, I'm the 3rd with Kate.
So that is big. Dude, March is absolutely stacked with all of those movies, plus The Mandalorian. I mean, holy moly, it is going to be a busy, busy time for everybody, and a good time for everybody. But the writers, the stuff, as far as Favreau goes, that's what's your, as a casual fan, what's your take on all that, hearing that Favreau's writing like pretty much how many 8 episodes by himself, writing at least 5 of them by himself?
I'd like to know. Like, I mean, maybe 4. I honestly don't know. Did he write most of the ones in the previous seasons?
Wrote a lot of them for sure, but I think what it means on the overall is that there's a couple things the way to look at it. As they mentioned in that article from Star Wars Newsnet, their stuff is like really shared, about as big shared universe as you get. Yeah. Because that time period that they're playing in, as it'll probably tie into Ahsoka, it'll probably tie into something, maybe a tease from Skeleton Crew at some point. It'll probably tie into Boba Fett, because it all plays in that time period, and that's all the shows that they work on. So I think by pushing that forward, it makes a lot of sense, especially some of those episodes, as I mentioned, with Filoni and Favreau together. It probably would tie in the Ahsoka stuff because it helps promote the show.
Yeah.
The other thing that I'm very curious about, I want to see how, I mean, they had already shot this before Andor, but I'm so curious what Andor did for the game, meaning that, yes, it might not have done as well in the ratings as some of these other shows, but it was the most talked about as far as critical, like easily. Is that going to change the way that some of these showrunners and the way, now I could see Filoni and Favreau pushing back against that type of tone, because they're not so far off of the tone. Their stuff they have serious plus the fun stuff. I think that Filoni really plays in the world of George Lucas, of saying this is for kids, but still there's that Star Wars lore and there's everything too, where Tony Gilroy was like, no, this is for kind of adults and maybe some older teenagers, but for the most part, this is for adults. So I don't know. Where do you think this kind of lands?
Well, if I know you watched the afterward. I don't know what they were called.
The gallery.
The gallery.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Favreau's a fan, and he's dialed in on this. So I think it's great. I mean, I think he truly has a passion. You can see him about things, and when he hears the music and he's playing it for people like that. So I think it's great, and it will have at least a complete through line with one person being a part of all of it.
Yeah.
I like the extra thrown in, maybe a couple extra more thrown in, maybe. I
don't know. I think that should be determined at the end of the season. Yeah. Because if it turns out that because what it shows is, as they mentioned, it shows how invested he is. And some people can say, well, yeah, he's also getting paid for each one of them. Of course he is, but he's also really locked in. So I want to see what his Mandalorian season 3 looks like. I want to see, and I'm sure that just because he wrote it, some of them by himself, it doesn't mean he's not talking to Filoni about the Mandalorian culture and the Mandalorian, because I think this is going to be the most locked in that we are to the Mandalorian culture. I would say that I think this is absolutely, this season of the Mandalorian season 3 will be the most involved we get to the Mandalorian culture, the things that we're going to see with Bo-Katan, the stuff what we're going to see with Din and how he's got with the Darksaber and how he's going to be able to defend that, going back to Mandalore. This will be the richest we see in Mandalorian culture thus far. So seeing Favreau do that, I think this is good news.
And I don't think there's any, like what I'm saying, there's no denying this guy loves what he's doing. Yeah, getting paid or not,
he loves it.
You see in those gallery things that he is really enjoying himself and is, I bet he's just like dying to do it.
I think so. Yeah.
Like let's get this going.
And I think this is a good competition now of like what. I guess people are already saying there's a back and forth. There's some people, I still have Mandalorian as my number one, as my favorite live action series so far. But there's a lot of people that put Andor right there, and I still think Andor's the best written. But I think that he's probably like, okay, fine. How about this?
How about this?
Yeah, how about this? I'm trying that. I got something for you guys. How about this?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, everybody! All right, now watch this, Brady. You ready? 'Tis the season for clean ball bags. Our friends are back at Manscaped. Oh man, Manscaped last year gave us the gift of the Santa Claus bit, and I'm so glad that they're back again. So our friends over at Manscaped, they're helping you clear your driveway for safe travels this holiday season. They have stocking stuffers to white elephants. Manscaped products are at the top of every wish list. You got to grab some of those crop mops for your pops, or the body buffer for the holiday lover with this year's white elephant gift, and help all of the men in your life go from eggnog to nice hog this December. And save 20% off of free shipping. Got to go to manscaped.com/bigthing. Manscaped is a one-stop shop for all your holiday needs. They have the perfect gift in the Platinum Package 4.0. Plus, loads of little presents perfect for the stocking stuffers. I'm so happy that they're back. And you don't want to let your chestnuts roast in the wrong boxers. You get them a pair of Manscaped boxers, specially made to keep the area cool and provide holiday comfort all year round. So you want to do this for a good gift, because I'm telling you, you get this for some peeps, and at first they're gonna be, what's Manscaped? Or maybe they should know what it is, but if they don't know what it is, what's Manscaped? They are going to be in love. Everybody that I've ever given Manscaped has just raved about it. And so what else? What do they have besides just getting your ball bag? Well, Dad, does he have those nasty nose hairs? You can see like wires. People, little kids sometimes like swinging like Tarzan swinging from a vine from your grandpa's nose hairs. Well, help him. Save his life with the Weed Whacker nose and the ear hair trimmer. That's my favorite. I can sit for like hours and just buzz them all out. The Shears 2.0 is their full kit for nail care, scissors, clippers, tweezers, and a file for the traveling man. There's a new cologne that brings a light, breezy, woodsy feel and gives that fresh tree scent even after Christmas is over. You still using a loofah? Introducing the body buffer. It's really good, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, this stuff is awesome. You can save 20% off and free shipping. Got to go to manscaped.com/bigthing. That's 20% off and free shipping. Go to manscaped.com/bigthing. It's Manscaped. It's the perfect gift that will be the biggest holiday hit. And that ain't no joke, man. I'm telling you, Manscaped. I know you guys know Manscaped. We've been working with Manscaped now for a while, but I'm so glad that they're back on the show. And people, you're wondering, people ask all the time, how can you help the show? Well, you help yourself and you help us. Get yourself some Manscaped. I'm telling you. And it's right now, perfect holiday gift. Such a good one. Have you been using the Manscaped?
Oh, all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've used it on my face too.
Oh yeah.
Because you can wash the blades. So I do it on my face. I've
had a few different blades though.
Yeah.
I've had a few different of the razors, because we've had them for sponsor a few different times, and I've gotten that one, and I've absolutely Sadie's cut my hair.
Yeah, cut the hair,
100%.
back hair. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I want that kit with the tweezers and the clippers because I saw this whole bit. It was Zach Shepard talking to his wife. You know her. She's anyway.
I know her well. I know her well.
She's famous.
Yeah,
she's a
very
famous gal.
Yeah, sure.
And he got a safe because he's got daughters and there's never any nail clippers anyway. I bought 4 nail clippers for everybody to have in their room. Gone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have that little pack.
Get 'em.
It's gonna be Dad's.
You got to do it.
Lock it up.
You got lock it up. You lock it up. All right, let's move over past Mandalorian, by the way, and I want to get into something else here. I want to move to this one here. Now
It's a handsome man.
Thank you. Oh, you're talking about him. So James Gunn, he's out there, and he's talking about the DC movies, and he's talking about when the new DCU slate is actually going to begin. So DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn has confirmed that he and Peter Safran have given notes on next year's DC Comics movies, revealing when the official DCU slate actually begins. So here it is. This is a comic book movie, by the way. There's a lot of intrigue surrounding what James Gunn has planned for the DCU alongside Peter Safran, with DC Studios clearly established to put this franchise back on the right track. While the studio director, yeah, sure, he's a studio director, but he's also the Suicide Squad director, and he's made it clear that they're currently in the midst of putting together a new slate of interconnected film, TV, and video game projects. There are still some leftovers from the DC EU era to get through in 2023. Those include Shazam, Fury of the Gods, The Flash, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. After recently hyping up the new Blue Beetle poster on Instagram, Gunn started answering some fan questions about the DCU's future. He started by revealing, Peter and I will help to guide the already filmed project for the next year, but the slate won't start until after Aquaman 2. So, the DCU slate officially kicks off in 2024. That's exciting as the fact both Gunn and Safran have been giving notes on the remaining DCEU movies, seeing as leaks have confirmed that both The Flash and the Aquaman sequels are going to lay the groundwork for a Crisis on Infinite Earth adaptation. We're guessing this input from the DC Studios heads might have resulted in the removal of those elements. After all, they have their own ideas for the shared world and probably don't want to be beholden to past concepts. While time will tell on the front, Gunn also said, we're excited to be shepherding the great films before we arrived and working hard to create an extraordinary, wondrous, and unique DCU beyond that. Needless to say, it finally feels like the franchise is in safe hands, and like Gunn, we're excited about the future. As for when we'll learn what that DCU slate looks like, we'd bet on it being well into 2023. Okay. So, a lot to kind of pull back here. Obviously, they the James Gunn now. What's so interesting now having you on the show with the last 3-4 months, whatever it is. You are probably the most well versed in this stuff now than you've ever been, right? Because
of course,
you would have never known in a million years that James Gunn and Safran were running, but now you know, and you've been following all these stories. What do you think though, hearing this? Because we've talked about it. When that story broke, me, you, and Roxy talked about how we thought how it would run now with him, and we all guessed and I still think Comic-Con will be when they announce the slate. 2024 is probably when you see the first edition. But that they're putting their input into the movies that were already there, how does that fare for the DCU right now?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. I mean, I think we talked about it in great length. And, I said, I think it's a great idea. And then Roxy went through and explained why. I'm like, see?
Right.
I know why. Right. But I don't remember what she said. But I have a question with your question is, so we're not going to see a new one? Like, do you think we're going to see Flash or Aquaman before?
Yeah, that's 2023. So
okay.
all that,
but nothing new until 2024.
Right. That's what they're essentially saying. They're saying that the new DCU, as created by them, all these movies that were already shot before they were hired, those will all come out. They're just saying that they had some input on whether it was like some of the post-production stuff and how maybe reshoots and things that would then tie in. They're paying attention to all of it. So it's not like one of these things where what could happen is, all right, they hire someone to come in, but they've already shot all this stuff. Well, let's just put it out there and then we'll just start our thing. They're going to start their thing in 2024, but the stuff that's already, it will tie into this stuff, but their version of it will be just a little later, which is what we all thought anyway.
Yeah.
But the fact that they had their input, that they're able to say, okay, look, how about this? How about the idea that if this was all, because there was an idea of where all this stuff was leading before you got these guys, when these movies were shot that are coming out, Flash, Aquaman, all of it.
Shazam and all.
All of it. So, and Shazam is Peter Safran produced. So he's probably like, they probably just got in a room and said, okay, let's get a couple reshoots. Let's know that if we're going to take it here, if they wanted us to go in this particular direction, that's not something that we're comfortable in. We're not going to go there. So let's just make sure we do a reshoot here. Let's make sure we do this. Let's make sure that Blue Beetle lands into this and can connect to this, and that we can make sure that we have this particular tone of what's going to happen. So I think it is good, and I think they're right, that it just shows how much that like they care. It's similar to what we were just talking about with Favreau.
Yeah. And I think that it is good that they are, taking control now, because they had a shit show to deal with, and to not just suddenly just like you said, crank them out, because then you got to backtrack when you're doing the new ones. But I think that's wonderful that there's somebody that has the plan and can take what they've been handed and drive it in the right direction. And I'd like to see when you say 2024, that just seems
seems like forever, but it's not. It's not. It's only 2 years away. It's not even 2 years away.
50.
It's just not, but it's like a year. It's like next month it'll be a year away.
Oh man,
it's a year and 1 month.
Yeah,
it's not that far away. And I don't think we're getting a movie if we're getting a movie from Gunn and Safran in 2024, it's going to be December of 2024, if that, because they're probably putting into play now. They're just not announcing what the hell they're doing yet. But I would assume. I mean, some people say no, but I would assume that it would be Superman. I think
that's what I was just thinking. I mean,
it has to be. I mean, that would just be like, that's your, if we're doing a thing where like, okay, we just want to put the first movie out and we want it to do well, so we can continue to do stuff. Your best bet is leading with Superman. It's like, your little characters, your smaller characters, like Guardians of the Galaxy nobody knew what they were. Nobody knew, but they already had all these setups beforehand. They had Iron Man. And Iron Man wasn't this massive character, but he was a character that you started to build. Captain America, big character, right? They had all these things they built up to it, and then finally you got Guardians of the Galaxy.
But you go with the big guy. And I mean, Cavill has announced, I mean, that was a big announcement that he will be.
He's coming back.
Yeah, so I mean, why would that announcement be made if that's not one of the first things that are going to happen? And for the general audiences, I mean, you don't want to go with some off character that nobody knows. You could go with Superman. And I remember talking about this where people were saying that Superman nobody wants that Boy Scout story,
That's the way the old regime in Warner Brothers felt, and they were wrong.
Yeah. Totally wrong. I think it's like we need a Superman right now. We need somebody that is that, homegrown, make us feel great kind of a character.
Yeah, we haven't had that version of it in a while, because even and I've mentioned it many times over. I liked Man of Steel, and I liked the direction they went with them because it was different at the time, but we've had that now for a bit. Now the darker Superman. Let's get back into the traditional Superman inside of this, because it's going to do whatever this movie is, whether it's Superman or whatever it is. The first movie inside of the Safran and Gunn era is establishing tone. Mm-hmm. Like, we're going to know, okay, that's what they're doing here. That's what they're starting to set up. And I'm excited for it. I think it's the most exciting time to be a DC fan at the moment. So I'm pretty pumped for it. I'll tell you what you should be pumped up for, though. Oh, yeah. How about this? No, look at this. Oh, yeah. It's funny. I was always a big watch guy when I was growing up, and I had kind of gotten out of it for a little bit. But then I was introduced to VINCERO. I didn't know a lot about VINCERO, but I was told about it. And then they sent me this. I said, "Oh my God, this is a great watch. There's no better way to spread holiday cheer than if you upgrade your style." People are already complimenting, walking around Universal. Nice watch. I said, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Our friends over at VINCERO are sponsoring today's episode. So once again, if you're not familiar with VINCERO yet, they make exceptionally crafted and stylish watches at affordable prices. It's so true. You browse around that website, you'll take a look, and what a gift. What a gift. What a gift it was to me. If you're looking for the perfect holiday gift, you want to elevate your style or someone you love, you can save 20% off and free shipping site-wide with our exclusive code. You got to use Big Thing. Support our show and check them out at VINCERO, VINCERO. And that is VinceroCollective.com. Use that code Big Thing. I'm telling you, this is such a smooth watch. I love this watch. And it feels good. I think that was the one thing. What I love about watches is when you don't even realize that they're on your wrist. They just kind of blend into your entire being. Walking around, I'm telling you. I was like, oh yeah, look at this thing. This looks smooth, man. And they got good sunglasses too. Hey, look at this. Look at this. These sunglasses are badass. I really like these. I'm going to show you my sunglasses that I got as well from them. Oh yeah,
and those are so you.
These are they're right. I love them. I love these sunglasses.
That was the Harloff look right there.
They made them for me. VINCERO, man. I'm telling you, the sunglasses, all of it. I'm digging these. I love these. They're the handcrafted frames, and there's so many styles to choose from. It was very hard to choose those because there were so many great ones. They have luggage, everything. And if you're worried that someone's not going to like the gift, whether you need to return or swap it, there's no problem. VINCERO has a 5-year guarantee and a 365-day free return policy, and they have you covered. So whether it's a gift for yourself or someone else in your life, add VINCERO to the top of your wish list. Don't wait. I'm telling you, it's going to be too late. You get 20% off and free shipping site-wide. Use that code BIGTHING at www. There you go. I'm going to www. VinceroCollective.com. Support the show and check out them at VINCERO Collective.com. Use that code BIGTHING. Look good, feel good, and save big this holiday with VINCERO. I was so excited when they told me they were coming in.
5-year, 360. That's like,
yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's
They believe in what they have. You don't give a guarantee like that.
I'm telling you, I was not like I had not done watches for a bit. I had not done it for a bit, and then I was like, okay, let me check it out. I really liked what they were working with. I'm like, all right, yeah, send me one. Let me see it. And I'm like, holy moly, I love this thing. It's so great. And the sunglasses. I mean, come on, kidding me?
And last week you were like, hey, Rox, didn't you see my new watch?
Yeah, I was showing it off.
Everybody,
I was showing it off. What do you think?
Steph,
look at this. Look at this. Yeah, I'm telling you, I love it. I love it. So make sure, and if you go and you can see it, I'm going to pin the comment there, and you can get yourself one. It's a great gift. It's a great gift, and then those sunglasses too. Check them out. And people are going, I was looking for new sunglasses. Look no further. Look no further. Let's move on. Let's keep going. Okay, Soups, I'm looking forward to seeing you, my man.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Up, up, up. Oh! I love Del Toro. I love him. It was funny. I was talking to Campion Burnett, who brought him up doing Superman. I said, no, wouldn't work. And I'll tell you why. Wouldn't work because he's so... It's very. I didn't like the Sam Raimi movie. I didn't like the freaking what's his name, Taika Waititi, who I love. I didn't like when it's too stylized for a director, and it would be a stylized Del Toro movie. Plus, he likes doing his own thing, and nothing. And this speaks volumes. Del Toro plans to do a monster film next. Perfect.
Yes.
With his celebrated stop motion adaptation of Pinocchio. By the way, I've met Del Toro a handful of times at Collider. Might be the sweetest human being in the world.
He looks like it. I'm glad to hear that because it could be the other way.
No, he's not. He's a sweetheart. He's just such a good human being. I love Del Toro. I love him. Anyway, speaking with Variety, the Circuit podcast, he was talking about having a whopping 22 completed but unproduced scripts on his plate, any one of which he could focus on next. Guy just loves making stuff, which is what I love about him, too. That's another reason I wouldn't want him to do something that's not his. This is a guy that should be doing stuff that's his. Asked what he's going to be doing next, he says he doesn't want to reveal too many details, but he does offer that it is a monster movie of some sort. Well, I'm working on a monster movie. I cannot say the title because it may change and I could end up making something else. But right now, I'm writing and designing. And we have for the last couple of years. Hopefully it'll be next, but anything can happen. The project doesn't sound like his long-awaited At the Mountains of Madness adaptation, which he hinted at the other day, could be turned into a stop-motion animated feature. He adds here that should it go that route, it will need to be rewritten, as the script would need to be different. He also confirmed Netflix hasn't yet officially handed out a second season renewal of his anthology horror series, Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, even as the director has put together a wish list of Helmers should it go forward. I mean, this is just, there's certain like duh moments, and this is a dumb moment. Yeah, it's like
he's done a few monsters.
Yeah, but that's his thing. He likes to go down that road. He likes to go down that route. He's got a very specific style and look that when he does something, whether it's Shape of Water or any of these movies, like he's able to bring that Del Toro flavor to it. So doing a monster movie, I think works.
I can't think of the name of it, but the creepiest one of all, with the guy. Doug Jones with the hands.
Oh my God, Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth. Oh, yeah, I mean, some of the most frightening.
That's my favorite Del Toro movie.
Yeah, it's so good movie. And so creepy.
It's so creepy. The music is beautiful, and the mixture of like a real like war drama almost combined with this mystical kind of crazy. That to me, I think that's his best film. But a lot of people love a lot. I mean, he's got.
And you
so
like
many.
Shape of Water?
Yeah, I like Shape of Water. I didn't go as cuckoo about it as everybody else did, but I thought it was beautifully made.
Yeah,
just not my. It's not the one that sings to me the same way that like Pan's Labyrinth did.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it, and then I heard what people had to say with it, but I'm like, I mean that's all right. I mean, like the falling in love with the fish guy.
Whatever. What Tom Hanks did it with Daryl Hannah. Just looks like Daryl Hannah.
Yeah,
she still had.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, is it all right?
Right.
When a man falls in love with a mermaid, but not when a woman falls in love with a mermaid.
With a fish face. Hey, fish face.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, maybe he's got a fish cock. I don't know.
Fishcock. That was the original name of the movie.
Yeah, Alfred Fishcock.
Alfred Fishcock. So for going on the Universal ride and watching it, he was so involved in everything. Oh, Albert, yeah, he was all over the place. It's amazing how many movies they shoot at Universal. It really is. Like riding around on that, like looking at all the stuff that they do, and it's like you got to update some of that video. Ron Howard looks like he's 30 years old. I saw him at Willow.
Yeah, I remember.
He's like 7 years old.
What did we do that 3 years ago?
He's like, oh, they don't update it. It's like, oh, our new show coming out. That show's been canceled for 4 years.
Yeah.
What are you talking?
Hey, look, it's Laverne and Shirley.
Coming out next month. Brand new. You knew him from Happy Days. Yeah. It's like they had Bryce Dallas Howard. Our new Jurassic Park movie. The movie came out last year.
Me?
Talking or whatever it was, like June or something.
I want to get in that psycho house. I want to see what that looks like inside.
Probably it's so funny you say that because I thought the same thing because they have Mike Kalinowski usually plays Norman Bates.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He wasn't working yesterday, but and shout out to Mike who got me tickets for my daughter and her friends yesterday. But like he does that normally, but Norman Bates comes out, he sticks the body in the trunk, and then he walks back into the house.
Wow.
But like the guy that was doing it was really good. I was watching him because I was like, I wonder if once the tram goes away, they just kind of
just smoking a cigarette.
kicks. He's still in character. I watched that little fucker all the way up. He's in character the whole way through. He takes the body back out of the car and puts it back in the thing. But he's looking up at the tram, and he's not looking up. What he's really looking up at the tram for is like, okay, kind of, do I got to reset now?
Yeah.
But he's looking up like he's still creepy. Like he was. I'm gonna try to get Mike on the phone and talk to him about Norman Bates. He never picks up when you don't.
Oh, he'd know what it looked like in there.
Oh, I know. So I'm gonna call him and see. I'm gonna ask him if he's allowed to. Let's see if we get Mike Kalinowski.
Because like think of the time when it was made, it wouldn't be so much of a shell because they must have shot stuff in it.
Well,
too.
they say it on the tour that there's nothing inside of it that normally it's just the sound stages of the stuff that they really use.
Oh, for the inside of the house.
Yeah, Mike's not picking up.
Your call has been forwarded.
I'll text him and I'll see if I can get him. So because I would love to know that. We are on Big Thing. All right. Anyway, so let's get to another story here, and there's more to talk about. And I want to talk about this trailer, man. Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, the sequel. It sets the trailer launch, and it's a big movie. And I found out the other day I was nervous because I saw it on as I was going through the movies that were coming out. It said Spider-Verse coming out 2024. I'm like, oh man, I thought it was 2023. Well, that's part 3 that's coming out in 2024. Part 2 comes out in 2023. Sony Pictures has set a December 13th launch date for the first trailer of the highly anticipated
Mike Kalinowski.
Nice. Perfect.
Still connected.
Yeah, it's John. Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, good. So Mike's on with us right now. It's me, it's Brett, and myself. And how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm on vacation. What's up?
Oh, good. All right. So I was
Perfect.
calling one. First of all, thank you very much for hooking up.
Yeah, you're
calls.
welcome.
It was a lot of fun. So we were talking about Norman Bates at the as we're going on. I was on that tour yesterday.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching. So are you still doing Bates?
Yeah, I do that.
Okay. So I was watching, and Brett had a question. What does it look like inside that house?
If what?
What does it look like inside that house?
There's nothing. It's a shell.
It's just right.
Ugh.
So it's a shell. So what do you? So you just have to sit there.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I should say that the office and the bedroom that we are part of is it's built, but there's nothing in it. It's empty. We have a chair and a table.
So you just got to camp out until the next. So what do they tell you? Do they tell you in your ear like, "Hey, it's coming through"? Or you
Oh no, we can hear it.
You hear it. You can hear it.
You know, you hear the guys. And here we come.
Yeah.
Before us, we had those cars, and now we're gonna surprise you with this drive-through. Ha ha ha!
Right.
That Bumblebee's a hero, but you know who's opposite of a hero? A villain. Like this one at the Psycho House. You know,
well,
every guy's got their different spiel.
The guy was good. The guy was good yesterday. I was saying
good.
What I was doing is as I was pulling up and I see it and I was watching him. You know, you come running after the car or whatever, and as it gets away, I'm looking and I'm watching him. Like, is he going to break character when he's got to get that body out of the trunk again? And he didn't. He looked up the whole way.
You want to know why?
Because you get canned.
He's a professional.
Yeah.
Professional.
He was good.
That's easy. Oh, good man.
He was good, but I said to Vivi, I was like, you know, Mike normally does this. She's like, oh, how come he's not doing that? I was like, he's on vacation. She's like, oh, okay, next time. But like, it was, but it was good, man. It's like there was some of the stuff that I obviously missed, and next time we go, we'll do more. But we only had a handful of hours. But we wanted to get your input on the on what it looked like in that place. What you got to be how often does it come through? Is it every like 10 minutes?
Let me tell you something. During the summer, no. Well, yeah, sometimes. Like yesterday, what was yesterday? Sunday, I was probably busy, but like during like and we really don't have non-peak anymore. It used to be like 2-3 times or half hour. We're a half hour on, half hour off. But there's times where they are every 60 seconds, and it's insane.
Wow,
it's ridiculous. Yeah, it gets insane.
You got to run back and forth, and you're just sweating.
Yeah, we got 3 bodies in the house in case we get stuck and we can't bring out of the troll. Yeah, it sucks sometimes. Yeah, man.
That's amazing, though.
But but I mean, when you look at it, it's not really that difficult, so can't complain.
What's your favorite gig out of all the ones that you do? Because you do the Waterworld, you do that
$6 Million Man.
Oh man, I don't. Everything's got its things. Like Norman's great because it's easier. The downtime we get is easy. The special effects show is great because all my best friends do the show with me. Waterworld is Waterworld, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
The Jurassic World stuff's great. So yeah, hey buddy, variety's the spice of life.
Well, good. Are they going to ever update Ron Howard? He looks like he's 35 years old in that trim. It's amazing. All right.
Probably not.
Probably not. All right. Go do your vacation. I'll see you when you get back.
All right, buddy.
All right,
take care.
Later. All right. The great Mike Kalinowski. Okay. So let's get to this story here again. Back to Sony Pictures has set a December 13th launch date for the first trailer of the highly anticipated sequel, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The official Twitter account of the movie has been sending out new stills from the follow-up to the 2018 release, which won the animated Oscar and sat high on many best-of-year lists. One such still teases with a caption that the trailer will release next Tuesday. The various shots and clips in recent weeks have shown off a new suit for Miles Morales, along with brief looks at Spider-Gwen and Spider-Man 2099. Joaquim Dos Santos, Kemp Powers, and Justin K. Thompson will serve as the film's directors, with Phil Lord, Chris Miller, Amy Pascal, Avi Arad, and Christina Steinberg producing. I'm excited for this one. This is you saw the first one?
Oh yeah, I loved it.
It's so good. I watched it recently with my oldest, and it's just like it holds up. It's hilarious. It's funny. A lot of pressure though on the sequel always.
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, for that one, that one had so much buzz on it, and please let it be good. It's one of those ones you're like, just please be good. Because people are waiting for
people are waiting for it. The only thing I love, besides the humor and how well written and it was heartfelt and it was pretty pure about Spider-Man, and the animation is spectacular, no pun intended.
And it took me a little bit because the style I know a lot of people had issues with, and it took me the comic book look.
Yeah.
But once I got past that, it was fine. But in the beginning, I heard about it, so it was in my head.
Yeah.
I kind of had to let it go. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't love the animation?
No. Well, that kind of like
comic booky.
Yeah. I had to kind of go, okay, no, this is what it's supposed to be like, and not. I don't know what I'm saying. It's like it was.
You thought it was. Your eyes were kind of used to the Pixar way.
Yeah.
Sure. I like this new style of animation, the way that they did it. It did seem like it just popped right off the comic book. So I'm pretty excited for. I'm excited for the trailer. I think that the trailer alone for this one should speak volumes on what we're about to see. And I think that Miles was the main character of the first one, but I think even more so as he's accepting his role as Spider-Man now, and how it's going to play within the Spider-Verse in general. It's going to be interesting. You think
see more Spider-Pig?
More Spider. You think Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield will show up in this one?
I would think, yeah. Don't you?
So?
I mean,
now that they got him back, and
like
maybe
just
they
a
signed
little,
him, just a little, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they already did the point bit, but like something that maybe where I would do it where you think they're gonna do that and they don't, or
something. I mean, Spider-Ham again was hilarious.
I could have had that funny. I could do a whole film of Spider-Ham
and Nicolas Cage.
Can you float in the air when you smell a delicious pie?
Oh, it's the best. That was so good. That and Nicolas Cage. Was incredible. It's like we don't choose the ball, we just dance. Such a great line. We don't choose the ball, we just dance. You know what's an underrated movie? Family Man.
Oh, I love that.
It's underrated. They're like 47% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Get out of here.
Really like that movie. I think it's Nicolas Cage is a great. I always remember seeing that with my dad for the holidays and him laughing like out loud in the theater. Where for people who don't know the story, Nicolas Cage is like this. He had made this choice in his life when he was younger. He was with Tia Leone, and when he was younger, they were together, and he's like, I'm going to London. It's just gonna be for a couple of weeks, and I'll be back. And he gets on she doesn't want him to go. He gets on the plane, and they break up, and he becomes like this multi-millionaire big what's it, not stocks, whatever, his business guy.
Yeah.
He's just he's like the top of the world, and he's lonely, but to him he's just like he's
cutthroat.
He's cutthroat is the best. And then like stocks and all that kind of stuff. And then Don Cheadle plays like this angel or whatever he might be, and he gives him a glimpse, or so he says, but he gives him this and he goes, what happens if he didn't get on that plane? So then you see it, and he's just just living in the suburbs. He's married to Tia Leone. He's got kids, and but he's not. He doesn't know how to do it because he's been living as this mogul for the last however long it was. And there's so many Nicolas Cage isms throughout it a bunch of times. But he's walking the dog, and he goes, if you could take a dump sometime this century. And I remember my dad just losing it because the dog's just.
What happened to Tia Leone?
She's around. She was in that. She was in that show. Was it The Vice President? I think it was called, or whatever. She's around. She's doing good. I mean, she was. It's amazing. Tia Leone is someone who I really like, but there's some performances from her sometimes I'm like, oh, brutal. Like the Jurassic. It was the Jurassic Park 3. She did nothing to do in that movie except scream and yell. It was terrible. But she's fantastic in The Family Man. She's so good in that movie. Anyway, that's just an offset on that one.
Is that around Christmas? No.
Yeah, it's around Christmas time. It takes place.
It's kind of.
He jumps into Christmas Day.
Yeah, so that would be considered a Christmas movie.
Of course, it's a Christmas movie. Absolutely is. All right,
add that to your list, people.
All right, before we go, because Brett's got to get out of here, and we'll do one more story. We'll say peace out. Let's talk about this Willow stuff. There's a couple things with the Willow thing that I saw. This was interesting because I saw a lot of complaints about it. My thoughts on Willow were this. I had seen the first 15 or 20 minutes, and I shut my TV off, and I said, I'm not going to watch this. I said, I can't do it. It's not good. I don't like it. I don't like what they do. I don't like this freaking this kind of back and forth that they're doing with the modern. It's like this modern feel. The kids were all in the modern world. And then what was the other thing? The kids were in the modern world. And the dialogue was bad. It was too.
You said it was very CW, like the.
We would talk like the line that killed me. There's a line, and I've quoted it a million times over. Hey, we're supposed to get married. That's weird. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And then my brother said the same things. I turned it off after 15 minutes, and I said, I took my oldest to the premiere, and I said, all right, I really didn't like what I saw here, but I'll take her. And I watched those first 15 minutes again, and I'm like, this is brutal. It's really bad. And then it gets better. I still think there's that major problem that the modern like you have someone who feels like Joanne Whaley, who's phenomenal. I just watched the first movie again too, and I think the first movie, even though it's like corny and the CGI is a little out, it still has a specific tone. You see what they're going for, and it's got like this fantasy feel, and it feels like everybody's in this world. This feels like kids dressing up sometimes, and then there's other characters that feel like they're in it, and that stays consistent in that first episode. I thought the second episode was significantly better, but still had that problem of that modern tone. But anyway, the reason I bring all that up too is that they had an interview, and this is very interesting. I think it's a bit telling too. So this is one of the writers from Willow, and in the mid-1980s, writer Bob Dolman was brought on board to work on the script for Willow. Star Wars mastermind George Lucas had spent a long time trying to get the property going before Star Wars even, but things didn't get moving until filmmaker Ron Howard and then MGM came on board. Now, Dolman joined after that. He and Lucas were very involved during the writing process. That proved to be a very different experience to Dolman's time on the newly launched Willow sequel TV series. Now, he was talking to the Hollywood Reporter about writing on the new series, and here's what Dolman said. He said it had more of a corporate feeling than his experience on the original, and indicates that the studio maybe got a little too involved in the creative process. Dolman says it felt like the studio was over our shoulder quite a bit. The studio being Disney and also Lucasfilm. They had good input, they had good notes. You have to move a series along and you have to be involved in it, but it felt like we weren't left alone enough just to toss ideas around and have the kind of freedom that I had when I was working with George and Ron. He says, whilst he received lots of input from Lucas on the film's script, he had the freedom to play with his own ideas on that. George was really hands-on, wanting to go page by page through each draft, talk about everything that we were doing, and then send me back to do another draft. I prefer not to be worried about whether or not an idea was good or bad, just trying things out and taking a chance and having the courage to even find a bad idea and knowing that it could lead to a good idea. Cut to decades later, and that level of freedom in screenwriting isn't around anymore, and not just because of the different nature of film and television. There are a lot of voices, and some of them aren't necessarily voices that know more than the people that have been hired, but those voices are heard and notes are given. In the writing room of the Willow TV series, there was a constant input from other sources outside of the room, so it felt to me like we were never alone in the room. Despite his misgivings, the new Willow is meeting a better reception than the original film. Ron Howard's film clocks up to 53% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 47 out of 100 on Metacritic, while the new series is doing better with 83% and 70 out of over 100 of the same outlets. The new Willow sees Warwick Davis and Joanne Whaley reprise their roles. And then there's other things. Okay, so you hear that, and it's kind of another one where that happens a lot, and especially when it's Disney and it's this big product, and it's a movie. Sometimes when you get a movie with someone like Tony Gilroy, you ain't gonna overpower Tony Gilroy. Mm-hmm. You're just not. This kind of room, and not that this guy doesn't have the success and the history, but in a show like Willow, you're going to get overpowered a little more. And I do think this is where maybe those notes come in, make it younger, make it this, make it that, do that. And maybe that explains a lot of maybe it doesn't, maybe a lot of the grievances that I had with it. Because I'm telling you, those first 20 minutes, I can't even tell you how many people told me I tuned out. The first 20 minutes were terrible.
I'm not even interested in the show, and I want to watch it to see what this is, because I don't even think I was a big. I don't even know if I saw the first Willow, to be honest with you.
I watched it with Vivi the other night, and I enjoyed it. I like it a lot better than the series.
Yeah,
a lot better than because the series is trying too hard to appease everybody. And I think that there's times where it feels great. There's times where it feels terrible. But the movie, even though Vivi's watching it, she's like, "Oh man, those computer graphics are terrible." So, yeah, it's from 1988.
Yeah, come on.
Of course. I mean, but if had it had the type of tech today, I think it's a significantly better movie because the graphics would look a lot better. Yeah. But or the effects would look a lot better. But yeah, I think that the story though has kicked in enough for Willow where I'm interested. But I've seen, minus a few people who don't know how to express themselves and just scream and yell and talk about things about this and that. And it's like, I don't listen to those people. But the people that I do listen to are people who say that they don't like it because of certain things and certain ways, particular things, and they're expressing themselves in a way. And I think that they're not wrong. I think that a lot of the show feels a little forced. It feels like they're trying to appease people. It feels like they're trying to do things in general that I think that you're taking away from the story. And then there's other things that fit inside of it that work really well. So I do see, instead of them trusting in their writer's room, they're going, well, we got to do this.
Yeah.
We got to make sure we do this, and make sure you do that, and do this, do that. Hey, call in here. We know. And that's what my favorite line. Clearly, these people don't know more than the people in their room, but they have higher titles, so people listen to them. And I hate that.
Kids say weird.
Yeah.
Make one of them say weird.
That's what they did. What it was is, hey, you know the Cobra Kai?
Yeah.
They got the young generation and the older generation. Let's do that. That's what we want to do. So make it feel hip. I mean, Cobra Kai style does not work for Willow.
Talk about Rubik's Cubes.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But like I said, I will say the second episode to me plays really well. I'm going to see how the third one comes out. There's some really great moments in it, but I don't know. I thought this interview was really telling. All right, and that's the end of the show, everybody. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you for everything. This is going to be a long week, a good week, a fun week. Got Avatar. I'm going to see Avatar tomorrow. I'm going to have my Out of the Theater reaction tomorrow, so make sure you check that out on the channel. We got a lot of shorts on the channel. Been working on that, whether it's my Instagram and working. I'm doing the TikToks, doing all of it. So make sure you check that out. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Get yourself one of those shirts. And if you haven't tried one of our sponsors today, please do so. Thank you to Carbon Health, by the way. Thank you to everybody. Really appreciate you very much. And we are going to be back on Wednesday for Sith Council. I'll probably be doing a solo show, actually. And then Thursday, myself, Brett, and Roxy will be back. Friday will be Capes and Cows. So thank you, guys. Appreciate you. We'll see you on the flip side. Peace.